Hi, this is Ed Iannelli or Emily, and I just wanted to do a video. Our road trip has brought us now to the state of Iowa. We've had an amazing trip. It's a bit tiring at times, but it's a wonderful experience to get to travel from New York out to California. I personally always wanted to do this trip, but I didn't know how to go about doing it. Then I learned that AI could help me map out the route, give me suggestions for hotel stops at affordable prices, and give me a defined timeline between stops. And when I saw it all and shared my desires of how to do this trip and let AI help me, it worked out. So there are very good benefits to AI, artificial intelligence. I never thought I would be planning a cross-country drive from New York to California with artificial intelligence, but it really works, and it helped me strategize for this trip. And I told the AI what I wanted to do. Drive from New York to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to get my car service for the long drive out to California. Then I said we're going to a concert in Washington, D.C. for HFStival. And then I said we'll take I-40, so we go to San Diego. So it mapped out the route and it gave us the days. So I said 2 days in D.C. because we went to Harrisburg, then we needed to drive to D.C. the day before the concert. And then so we'd be up and ready for the day of the concert, and we decided we would take Uber and went to Washington Nationals Park for the concert, which was great. And my friend from England, Taylor, and Matthew were with me at the concert. We had a great time. And we all were in this trip to California. We were, figuring out the best way to go. We were very fortunate that we missed the hurricane down south. God was on our side. And when we saw the concert, we stayed for about 7 hours. It was like 10-hour concert. We couldn't stay the whole time, but I got to see my band that I like, Jimmy Eat World, and some other good bands, including the Postal Service and Death Cab for Cutie, great bands. Jimmy Eat World was the band that I really wanted to see. And then from Washington, D.C., our first stop-off point after the hotel in D.C. was in Knoxville, Tennessee. We stopped in Knoxville, Tennessee, which was a long drive from D.C. Then we stayed one night in Knoxville. Then from Knoxville, we drove to Little Rock, Arkansas, and stayed at a hotel that was resident to a university hospital. So it was quite interesting. And then from Little Rock, Arkansas, we drove to, we drove to Oklahoma, first time in Oklahoma. We drove towards Oklahoma City. And then we came to our third stop in Amarillo, Texas. Nice place, fancy, beautiful. I was quite impressed with the hotel in Texas. And I enjoyed, to be honest, I was surprised how nice it was driving in Texas. Open roads, beautiful scenery. Then from Texas, we drove to Oklahoma, and then from Oklahoma we drove through Albuquerque. We drove through New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Beautiful scenery in New Mexico. Driving through the desert. Driving in Oklahoma was nice. Then we went from New Mexico to Arizona. Arizona was beautiful. We stayed in Flagstaff, Arizona. And then from Flagstaff, Arizona was the big push to California. And we got to San Diego. It was a long drive. All those stops was long drives. We managed to get from New York to DC to California and also Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We got to go through all that in those states, and we managed to do it in less than a week, 6 days. And like I said, we were very lucky we missed the hurricane. And when we got to California, we stayed a week in San Diego. We got to see Jimmy Eat World in DC, which is one of my favorite bands. And in San Diego, we got to see Green Day. And we saw them in Pittsburgh on another road trip when we drove from New York to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to see Green Day on September 1st. Then we drove to Cleveland, Ohio to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in this previous road trip. And then to Chicago to see the Cubs play. First time at Wrigley Field. It was wonderful. But then, you know, we got so caught up with Green Day when we saw them in Pittsburgh. When I saw they were playing in San Diego, I said, that's a good idea. Drive out to California, give us a reason. Plus, I always wanted to do it. So then we went to the concert in San Diego a week from the day that we were at Washington, D.C. for HFStival. That was September 21st. We started our trip on September 20th to go to Harrisburg. The concert was in D.C. on September 21st. And then we went and drove all the way to San Diego for their September 28th concert, Green Day. And we got there a day earlier than expected. We wanted to get there by the September 27th. We got there on September 26th. So we really did great on the trip going to California. And then went to the concert. We had 2 days. We went to Oceanside Beach. It was beautiful. Then we went to see Green Day on September 28th. And then we did a couple of more things. We drove to Anaheim to see the Los Angeles Angels. And then Taylor decided she was going to go back to New York because her back was hurting her. So she flew back to New York and we parted ways. She's back home in England now. She's happy. She's back home with her grandma and her friends. And we're still on this road trip that we're enjoying. When we parted ways, Maddie and I still had a few days in San Diego. Got my car washed. Then we went to LA, Inglewood, met a friend, then to LA. We went to the mall in LA. And then from LA, we drove to San Francisco, beautiful San Francisco. LA is, we know LA, I've been there before. San Diego is beautiful. We went to San Diego Zoo also. Then when we were in San Francisco, we got to walk around the city. It's nice. Went to a movie. We did a movie in San Diego also. And then we went to near the city of San Francisco. We went to see, well, in the distance, the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz in the distance. We went by Lombard Street. Our hotel was right by Lombard Street and Van Ness, perfect location. Didn't get to see the Painted Ladies. The house is featured in many shows, also in the movie Mrs. Doubtfire with the late Robin Williams. But we had a great time in California. Then we went to visit a friend, and he suggested we meet him and his wife in Lake Tahoe, California, and we got a hotel in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, which is just across the street. And we did meet my friend and his wife, and we had a nice lunch. We talked, reminisced about working together, and he told us things to do while we were in Lake Tahoe. We had 2 nights there, 2 nights in San Francisco, 2 nights in LA, 6 nights in San Diego, and went to Oceanside Beach. Beautiful. California is my favorite state. And then from California, we drove to Nevada. We then decided I-80 going back home because of the weather conditions and the hurricanes. Florida had 2 hurricanes and it affected that area south. So we're driving I-80 now, heading back home to New York. Went through Nevada. Then we went through, Matt, what else after Nevada? We went to Elko, Nevada, after Lake Tahoe. And then we went to many states. I get them all confused now. I think I forgot Arkansas before. We drove through, oh no, we did Little Rock. And then on the I-80 going back home, we're in Iowa now. We were in, where were we yesterday, Matt? Do you remember? I'm getting old. I'm forgetting things.
Yesterday?
Yeah, what state were we in yesterday?
Nebraska.
Nebraska. We're in Iowa now. Where else were we after Nevada? We
Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa and Nebraska, but before Nebraska, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah, Wyoming.
And Wyoming, we were in Wyoming, in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Mm-hmm. And now we're heading to, I guess, the Midwest, mm-hmm. which is Illinois, mm-hmm. Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, mm-hmm. Pennsylvania, mm-hmm. and then New Jersey and New York. Mm-hmm. So we're expected to be home by October 17th. I have a doctor appointment in Pennsylvania. I want to get the car serviced in Pennsylvania, get the car washed in Pennsylvania, and then the big push from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to home after my appointment with my doctor friend Ira Myers, who's an exceptional runner, still runs today, plays golf, and he was the elite runner on our team. I always looked up to him. He's my doctor now because I'm being treated for diabetes, and I need to make sure my foot care is well taken care of, and I have neuropathy. So I'm trying to do all this because I'm getting up there in age, 63, trying to bond with my son, have a good trip, father-son bonding trip, enjoy the sights, and do something that I always wanted to do since I was in my early 20s. And I would say this is like a marathon. I never had the opportunity to run a marathon, but I would say driving cross-country from New York to California and then California home is like a marathon. Plus, I always latch on to truckers because they're the experts on the road, and I feel better driving behind the trucks, riding their coattails. I prefer riding behind the truckers than the truckers riding behind me. And I go at my pace, 60 miles an hour, try to push it to 80 if that's the speed limit, but I don't like doing that at nighttime. And I drive carefully, and we're gonna get home by the 17th, and I'll have all these memories, and I'm gonna try to put it all together and write a book and reminisce about the trip and how great it is to do something like this. Anyway, thank you. Thanks for commenting on my posts on social media, and thank you for your friendships. I've enjoyed meeting so many people on the road, going to all these different places, seeing the truckers, resting in the lounges. They have shower stalls for them. And it's just nice to be a part of that and get to see states I've never seen before. Get to see the mountains, the deserts, the lakes, the beaches, the concerts, and just going to nice places and meeting people and staying at the hotels. Obviously, the hotels, we look for affordable hotels, and ChatGPT helped me with that. So overall, I'm very pleased and happy, and look forward to getting home to my family and Maddie getting home, and seeing the cats and my wife and mother-in-law, and just having things to share and talk about. Got a couple of souvenirs, and I'm just grateful to experience this. Thank you. Bye.